This letter is not official, it is not stamped with the mark of the state. It is written in urgency, in truth, and in love. It is secret not because it must be hidden, but because too few are ready to hear it, but you must hear it before it is too late. I write to awaken you because what you do not know is being used against you. Because what you do not question is enslaving you. Because if you do not rise now, you may have no ground left to stand on tomorrow. Africa is not poor, Africa is not weak. Africa is not broken, it is being broken deliberately, methodically, and with our own hands. Yes, I said it, with our own hands. We have let ourselves be sedated by imported dreams. We have mistaken convenience for freedom. We have confused foreign applause with success. And now the very soul of our continent is being auctioned to the youth of Africa, those in Lagos traffic, in the Nairobi slums, in the fields of Bamako, in the universities of Accra, in the nightclubs of Joburg, in the refugee camps of Tripoli, in the mining pits of Katanga, in the cafes of Kigali, and under the neon lights of Paris and Rome. I say this WAKU pit, or be erased. Number one, the theft of your future. My brothers and sisters all, my sons and daughters in the spirit of Africa, let us begin with a truth that should pierce the conscience of every young African who still dares to dream. Your future is being stolen piece by piece, deal by deal, lie by lie. Not by chance, not by accident, not by natural disaster, but by men in suits and uniforms, by policies dressed as progress, by deals signed in silence, by the kind of leadership that confuses servitude for strategy, and yes, by your own silence and surrender. You were told that independence was given to your fathers, but I ask you, if we are free, then why do our currencies still bow before the euro? Why do our resources feed foreign stock markets while our people feed on hope and prayer? Why do the brightest minds in Accra and Addis Ababa build roads in Dubai, launch tech startups in Berlin, and create art for galleries in New York, while back home the lights flicker, the taps run dry, and the schools are crumbling? You were promised opportunity, but what you got was illusion. You were promised democracy, but you inherited democracies that protect the rich, prosecute the truth tellers, and sell elections like merchandise. You were promised globalization, but it came wrapped in poverty, dependency, and cultural erasure. You were told you would be the leaders of tomorrow, but that tomorrow never came. It is always tomorrow, and they are hoping you will grow too tired to keep asking when. My dear African youth, I must speak to you plainly. You are being groomed for obedience, not leadership. You are being shaped to serve, not to shape. You are being distracted by the noise of social media, while your destiny is being sold in silence. The oil beneath your soil has paid for the comfort of men who will never know your name. The lithium under your hills has powered smartphones in Tokyo and Teslas in California. But your schools still teach under trees and your hospitals still run without electricity. How long will we call this misfortune instead of what it truly is, a system? A system designed to keep you focused on football matches and fashion trends while your economy is auctioned off to foreign powers. A system that makes you chase visas and celebrity lifestyles while your ancestral lands are bought by billionaires. A system that whispers Africa will rise but never tells you who is lifting it and for whose benefit. Let me ask you something uncomfortable. When a 25-year-old African man sells his vote for a bag of rice, I'm recording every lie. I'm archiving every distortion. I am Ibrahim Traore, and today I'm pulling off your masks. Yes, you heard correctly. I, whom you call a young military junta leader, whom you brand as a dangerous radical, whom you serve up as an anti-Western dictator, am now telling you the truth. And this time you cannot turn off your microphones. This time you cannot turn away your cameras. This time your editors cannot cut this speech, because the world you monopolize no longer exists, because millions will hear these words now, without passing through your filters, without being subjected to your distortions, without being muddied by your lies. I am 34 years old. Every day of my life, I grew up with your lies. As a child, I would watch Africa on television. Always the same images. Children with flies, dry lands, weapons, death. This is Africa, they told us. This is what Africa is. And we believed it. We were ashamed of ourselves. We were ashamed of our own lands, of our own people. But then I grew up. I read, I researched, I questioned, and I understood that the Africa you showed us wasn't real. The story you told us was a lie. The fate you imposed on us was a script you had written. For years, how have you portrayed Africa? How have you shown it? How have you sold it to your viewers? As if we were creatures who had no share of humanity, as if we were savages left outside of civilization, as if we were wretches waiting for you to save us. Every day, every hour, every minute, the same story plays on your screens. Hunger, war, disease, corruption, terror, chaos. These are the words that come to mind when Africa is mentioned. In your Africa dictionary, there are no other words. No hope, no success, no development, no resistance, no honor, no pride, no victory. So I ask you, New York Times, Washington Post, Guardian, Le Monde, have you ever made Africa's successes your headlines? How many times have you written about Rwanda's technology miracle? How many times have you shown Ethiopia's reforestation project? How many times have you praised Botswana's democratic success? How many times have you described Kenya's entrepreneurial ecosystem? No, because these don't fit your scenario. Your Africa cannot be successful. It cannot, because then how will you legitimize your exploitation? If it's not in need of help, how will you intervene? If it's not backward, how will you look down on it? Have you ever asked yourselves, has any editor sitting at their desk, any news director in a meeting, any columnist at their keyboard ever thought, why are the people of the world's richest lands poor? Here are the numbers for you, real numbers. Africa owns 70% of the world's cobalt reserves. Your cell phone, your computer, your electric car won't work without cobalt. This cobalt comes from Congo, but Congolese can't afford cell phones. Africa owns 90% of the world's platinum reserves. Catalytic converters, electronic devices, medical implants, they all need platinum. This platinum comes from South Africa, but South Africans are crushed by unemployment. Africa provides 30% of the world's gold production. Mali, Burkina Faso, Ghana, Tanzania. Gold flows like rivers from our lands, but our people swim in poverty. Africa supplies 65% of the world's diamond production. Botswana, Angola, Congo, Sierra Leone, billions of dollars worth of diamonds are extracted, but our miners live on $1 a day. Africa owns 35% of the world's uranium reserves. Niger, Namibia, South Africa. Nuclear plants run on our uranium. Paris lights burn with our uranium, but our villages have no electricity. And you still ask, why is Africa poor? No, the right question is, how was Africa kept poor while being so rich? Here's your answer. Colonialism didn't end, it changed shape. You used to come and occupy our lands. Now you come and establish companies. You used to take by force. Now you make agreements. You used to rule with the whip. Now you rule with credit. Let me give you concrete examples. With numbers, names, dates, but you'll never write about these. Glencore, Swiss-based mining giant, extracting cobalt in Congo. 2022 revenue, $256 billion. Tax paid to Congo, $500 million. That's 0.2%. Is this justice? Rio Tinto, British-Australian mining giant, extracting bauxite in Guinea, 20 million tons annually. What's left for Guinea? Environmental pollution and cancer. Total, now Total Energies, French oil giant, extracting oil in Angola, Nigeria, Congo. 2022, profit, $36 billion investment in Africa, dirty pipelines, Anglo-American, founded in South Africa but now in London. Diamonds, platinum, iron, taking everything. What it left in South Africa, 6 million unemployed miners. And these are just the tip of the iceberg. What about the invisible, the secret deals, the offshore accounts, the transfer pricing tricks? Every year, $88 billion in illegal money flows out of Africa. Who writes about this? Every year, $45 billion in aid comes to Africa. Everyone writes about this, but no one says Africa is not the continent receiving aid, it's the continent giving aid. While you zoom your cameras on swollen bellies, there is a huge system working